morning, everybody. Well, it would appear that I am at Breen Down, which is that there hill up there, and I am with George Goodenough.
Hello everybody, good morning.
And we're going to race each other to the top.
That's your idea, not mine, Ziggy.
We're just going to have a little old decrepit people's race to the top of Breen Down. I'll probably let him win.
Oh,
make him feel
Ziggy.
better about himself.
Thank you, Ziggy.
So I always walk with 2 sticks, especially if I'm doing uppy hill bits. Actually, they're pretty useful on downy hill bits as well.
Very true, yeah.
But I started walking with 2 sticks when I was really, really fat. I was 14 stone. Now, to some people who are 18 stone, they're going to think 14 stone's not very much. But I'm only 5'3", and my natural weight is 8.5 stone.
That's fair enough.
And I kept falling over. One minute I was walking along, next minute I'm on the floor. Absolutely no flipping idea how it happened. So I started walking with 2 sticks everywhere. Even if I was just walking into town, I had to have 2 sticks.
Yeah, well,
because I was terrified that I was going to fall over and make an arse of myself.
Well, my story was I was 21 stone, morbidly obese, and basically I couldn't walk, so that wasn't really an issue for me. So I could only sort of stagger from A to B, really very short distances.
How did you get to that? How did you get to what happened? What made you 21
It was just not
stone?
understanding what I was eating. I thought I was eating relatively healthily, so I didn't eat, your sweet sugar. Well, that's what I did really, but I was eating a lot of pasta and bread and potato, takeaways, all the rubbish,
All the really yummy stuff.
Absolutely right. And then on March the 1st, I had a set of blood tests in 2022, and it came back I was type 2 diabetic and morbidly obese, and the doctor basically gave me a prescription for metformin and statins and dismissed me from her office. Thankfully there was an angel called Nurse Kathy Moran who ambushed me on the way out, sat down in her office, asked me what I ate, and I described pretty much what I just described to you. And she then said 4 words: all carbohydrates are sugar.
Yes.
I went away and I did some research, threw away the prescriptions, went low carb, then keto raw, then carnivore, and here I am 2.5 years on, 7 stone lighter, no more type 2 diabetes. In fact, the story behind that is I had my recent set of blood tests, and Nurse Abby said it was the most spectacularly successful turnaround in health she'd ever seen. So I'm now able to walk again without pain. I'm still very stiff in the knee, but I'm hoping that will come back. And here we are about to climb Breen Down, which is something I haven't done for 20 years, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
We've got pretty good weather. I am actually going to have to stop filming for a minute and take off my jacket.
Okay.
Okay, we're on the hill now. I shouldn't think you'll be able to see how steep that is, but when you hear us puffing and panting in a minute, you'll understand. So anyway, as I was saying, yes, I started to use 2 walking sticks everywhere I went, even on the flat. I needed them. Sometimes I'd set out from my house to walk into town, which is about 1.5 miles away, and I'd get to the end of the road and I have to come back again because I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to make it. So I've been sort of keto-ish for many years, for about 18 years now. I started obviously with the Atkins, and I very quickly lost weight after giving birth to my daughter because I was on the Atkins. I was down at about 9.5 stone, which is perfectly reasonable. But of course I started looking into diet when I got to 14 stone, and I was falling over and I couldn't walk very far, and I was basically being an old woman. And I'm puffing and panting already. We've only just started up here.
It's easier to talk,
My nose is running. I got a dribbly nose. And I went back to keto, but I did the thing that everybody does when they're on keto. You look for keto on YouTube and it's, look at this keto pudding you can make. Oh, here's another keto pudding. Look at this lovely sweet thing that you can have. And honest to God, some days all I ate was keto chocolate cheesecake all day long. Sort of knowing, I knew that it wasn't what I should be doing. But then I found Carnivore, and the very first thing I found was Kerry at Homestead How, and it was right at the very beginning of his journey. He'd just done about a month, and he was saying how he was just doing it as an experiment because he thought it was all a load of balderdash, and he didn't believe that just eating meat could make him better. And his story, which many of you will know, is that he had major health problems. He was way overweight, and he had mental health problems as well. And after a month he was feeling so good about it that pretty much none of his videos now is about his homestead and how to run a homestead and about his family and that. Pretty much every single one of them is about Carnivore. And I thought, there's probably something in this. So I went Carnivore, and I think within 8 months I'd lost 2.5 stone. And if anyone's been following my videos, they'll know I was having trouble with the last 1.5. Well, I'm pleased to tell you today that I have lost the other 1.5. I've still got I've still got half a stone that I call my belly. It's very flobbly and horrible. And I've not been doing any exercise. You can probably tell by my puffing and panting and how slowly we're walking up this hill. It's a very steep hill though.
Your viewers can't see how bloody steep it is.
No, they can't. You can never see on a video how steep a hill is. Where was I? Yes, I'm very floppy all over. Everything's gone floppy. My arse is floppy and wobbly. My tits, Jesus Christ, you don't even want to know about that. But let's put it this way. Can you fold your tits? I can fold mine.
I used to do it before I discovered Carnivore.
I can't see the boobs ever coming back to normal, but with a bit of exercise, I think I can get everything else back to normal. But the reason I haven't been exercising is because our garden flooded. And it flooded out all our sheds. One of the sheds was what my daughter lived in. Just moved her back in after dehumidifying the shed for, what's it got to be, about 3 weeks now, hasn't it, George? Since that happened.
Probably longer than that, to give you honestly.
3 weeks, a month, I don't know. So now I've nixed the dehumidifier to put it into my exercise shed, and then I'll dry that out, and then I'll make a concerted effort, especially now winter's coming, because it'll be nice and cool in there, and menopausal old hags like it when it's nice and cool. So that's what I'm about. Oh, also we dug a massive hole in our garden, and every day when I get home from work I have to pump it out. It's going to be hundreds of gallons that I pump out of there every single day so that the sheds don't get flooded again. Ah, we're nearly at the peak, George.
We are, nearly.
Well, we're really at the peak of this path.
Yes. Then we've got to probably turn around and there'll be another one.
There's a little more to go after that. So you've, last thing, when we were arranging this walk, you were saying how you had a dodgy knee.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you said, oh, my knee's better.
Yeah, basically, I've been complaining to all who were listening to me that my knees were last come back. I was able to walk, but not without pain.
Yeah.
And suddenly, about 4 weeks ago, the pain went all of a sudden. So I'm now walking 3.5 miles to work and back, or a mile and 3/4 to work and back every day. My knees are still stiff, but I can walk. I can walk at 2.5 miles an hour, which is 100% improvement on what it was in March 2022 when I couldn't walk. Yes. So I'm absolutely delighted. I'm delighted to be here with you. And I walk everywhere with a smile on my face now. People think I'm totally crazy because just being able to walk makes me smile. And I can't thank Carnivore enough for what it did to me.
That's what happened on my Wales trip. All I wanted to do was go and walk places. I just loved it. Did you catch me wild swim?
I did, yes. Yeah, I think I've seen all of your videos.
Oh,
sure.
Bless you. So it's you that's watching them then?
Absolutely, as you know, we're on a shared journey in terms of our spouses both have cancer. So yeah, we kind of, our bond transcends Carnivore already.
I guess, yeah.
Exactly. So
and it also helps that you're a jolly decent fellow.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes. I'll return the compliment and say that you are a highly amusing YouTuber and with a great sense of humour.
Oh, thank you very much. Can you tell a lot of people?
I will tell the world because I'm going to be doing a Dave Mack on the 27th of October. So yes, I will tell the world that we did this walk together and go and find her on Carnivore Camper.
Yes. Hey, it's getting easy now. The rest of it can't be bad now.
No, it's not so bad for me.
Because what I normally do is I get right to the top of that hill, I go down the steep bit to the fort, and then I walk around the bottom bit to come back
on this
down here. So I don't have to walk back up the steep bit on the other side of there. Because by then I've had just about enough. I might not, I might just go, let's do the hill!
No, you won't be doing that because I know this walk as well myself, and I know that the way back is easy than the way up.
Well, that's number 7. I don't know if 7 of what, but...
Probably marker of 7. We'll probably see the other 6 as we go. Because we didn't come up the steps, that's probably the last marker. That's
amazing powers of deduction, that is.
Well,
if there's a 7, there's going to be another 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Good answer.
I wonder if I can see... Oh, you can probably see our house from here. What's that? That's pretty. Come on, George, you know a lot of things.
I don't know a lot about flora, that's the only problem. I know me animals, but not me plants.
Can one of the 20 people who watch this video let me know what that is? Look at that. I'm going to do a grumpy old woman now. Bloody graffiti! They managed to get out here to bloody graffiti something. Ass wipes. Last time I come up here, I found a mattress. A mattress and some bedding. How did they get it up there? It was right up the top of the hill. A mattress and some bedding.
Presumably they have something in on their minds, Ziggy. I think you mentioned it on the Western Pier one time.
Oh, yeah, but I mean there are easier places to get to you know, there are much easier places to get to. A little bit of
drizzle, not much.
Bit of drizzle blowing up off the sea, I imagine. So I imagine it's going to be glorious by the time we get to the top. Hey, by gum! The old camper's in getting fixed.
Oh right, yeah.
The new one, the new old camper.
It's been quite a saga.
Is in getting fixed. We're having all the belts done, and they're going to look over it for every MOT inspection thing that happens and fix any of that. And I've decided I bought this thing and I've decided I just don't like the layout. So eventually it's going to be a complete rip out of the inside and a new layout. And I know that people are going to say, why didn't you just buy a van with a layout that you like? Well, I like automatics. I can drive a stick shift. I just don't see why anybody should. It's so much easier to drive an automatic. So I got myself an automatic van, which I hope will be mechanically sound. And I am going to eventually tear out the inside and make it the way I want it. The good thing is, I mean, it's a long wheelbase Mark IV, not Mark IV, T4. And the good thing about being hobbits is we can sleep across the van, which most people wouldn't entertain in such a small van, but we can. So I want to put the bed at the back, instead of having it somewhere at the front. Anyway, that's another video altogether. That's not carnivore, that's camper. I'm getting a little bit wet.
Just a little bit, not too much.
Well, no.
It's refreshing, Ziggy, it's refreshing.
It's soggy, George. It's soggy.
The human skin is waterproof, Ziggy, otherwise we'd all dissolve.
Yeah, the human skin is waterproof. Unfortunately, none of my clothes are. Well, they are. The ones in my bag for an emergency downpour are very waterproof.
I took a bet there wouldn't be an emergency downpour today.
Did you bring any waterproof trousers?
I didn't know, I'll just get wet.
Well,
do we go that way or do we carry on this way now?
That's the down around there bit, isn't
I
it?
think we go this way.
You're quite right. See, there's no wrong with your memory.
No. That's another story which we'll come on to later about the alcohol and how I've actually managed to dispense of it now, or at least this is day 6, put it that way.
Oh, you know alcohol now?
I basically decided that I'm big enough and grown up enough and happy enough now that I don't need my emotional crutch anymore, which is alcohol. So I took the decision on Monday to throw it away.
Oh, well done.
And yeah.
Now you see, I never had a problem with that because I've always been a complete lightweight when it comes to alcohol.
Lucky you.
So not having it makes no difference to me. And I found that when I was a drinker, when I say a drinker, nothing on the scale of normal people, but when I used to go to the pub quite a lot to visit my friends and that, I'd have about 3 drinks of whatever drink I was having, and I was like, I'm off home now. Yeah. Because I'd just be too tiddly. And the other thing is, some of you may have spotted that I speak my mind. There are some things that have to stay in, and after I've got a couple of beers inside me, they don't. So yeah, not a pleasant experience for everybody.
Yeah,
so it's probably best that I stay away from any kind of drug, although I am still on the vapes. Yeah, and until somebody definitively tells me that the vapes are destroying my lungs, which they're not, because I can still walk and I don't cough anymore, which I could not do when I was smoking cigarettes, then I probably will be vaping until I die, and I won't be dying of vaping.
No, so I'm just chipping here about the alcohol, Ziggy. Basically, I've got a very strange relationship because I, up until Sunday, was a heavy drinker. So and yet when I had my results, my bloods, my liver function test was absolutely perfect.
Oh.
So it's got nothing to do with...
Well, it's pretty good that you went to chuck alcohol instead of going, oh, yeah, exactly. I can drink alcohol, there's nothing wrong with my liver.
That was my initial knee-jerk reaction. But then I've noticed recently I'm starting to lose my memory in the afternoons when I've been drinking. I can't remember anything the next morning.
I lose my memories in the afternoons. That's when I go for a nap. I can't find them anywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, and basically because my line of work in horse racing relies heavily on my memory, so I've got to remember all the pedigrees and that sort of thing. I can't afford to lose my memory, so I've decided that is the key factor in me giving up alcohol. Plus the fact, of course, I've still got a big mortgage and it is expensive, so that's the side benefit. But no, that's my reason why is not physical health, it's mental health.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you can feel like proud of yourself, can't you? It's like you don't need it. You know you don't need it.
No, oh yeah, that's the other thing, because
you just don't need it, but you must have been addicted to it, otherwise you wouldn't have kept having it.
I think it was more a habit. It was an emotional crutch more than anything else. I've had
you say that.
Quite a lot of mental health problems throughout my life, nervous breakdowns, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've always validated it. But the other day I suddenly realised that I'm so happy now because my mental health has been turned around. I don't need it anymore.
No.
So that's the reason why I gave it up. And what did help was the fact that when I work with the horse racing people, I mean, he's often driving to go to socialise. I've noticed that when I drive, I drink sparkling water, and I'm just as happy and jolly as when I was drinking wine. So why carry on with the wine? I just
found I gave it up altogether. I didn't give it up altogether. I just stopped doing it. It wasn't like a conscious decision. I just couldn't be arsed with it. But I found that I also stopped going to pubs because I had continued for quite some time going to the pub to see my friends, but Jesus Christ, alcohol turns people into complete arseholes. And it made me uncomfortable being around them. Whereas when I was a little bit tipsy myself, it was all fine and dandy. But when you hear some of the rubbish that comes out of people's mouths when they've had a couple of beers, it's just like, Jesus, get a grip.
Exactly.
So I didn't want to be around it anymore. In fact, I don't think there's one single person that I used to go to the pub to see that I am friends with anymore. Because they all are still drinkers and they all still go to the pub. And I just can't get my head round. I can sort of understand why they do it, but it's just a situation that makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to be around it.
Yeah, I've yet to go down that route, but we'll see how I cope with that. And as I'm fairly well known in the community, I shall be reporting through various different channels such as Ziggy and Sarah Healthy Carnivore UK and Dave Mack on how my progress is going. Yeah, so I decided to join the rest of the carnivore community and kick the alcohol. So
yeah, it's best. I mean, I'm not smug about not drinking alcohol. I'm just pleased that I have no desire to do it. So it's not like it was an achievement for me. I've just never had a desire.
Yeah, a lot of
to drink a lot of alcohol.
A lot of carnivores have said that their desire for alcohol goes when they take up carnivore. I don't think it's so much my desire for alcohol; it's my need for alcohol which has disappeared.
Yes.
So that's another benefit of carnivore.
Every now and again, because I did buy some pink gin about 2 years ago, and my mum for 2 years in a row bought me Southern Comfort because she knows I like Southern Comfort, and I had to say to her, "Mum, I've still got the unopened bottle from last year." So every now and again when I'm cooking something, I go, "Do you know what? I fancy a little bit of this blood orange gin," and then I have maybe a couple of fingers in a small glass, and I'm like, right, I've done that for this year. Yeah. Maybe I'll get around to doing that again next year. And I think I bought the blood orange gin probably 4 years ago. It's still in the cupboard.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference between a moderator and an abstainer. I cannot moderate. I have to abstain. Basically, in my book, if it's an open bottle, it's an empty bottle. That
was the same with packets of sweets for me.
Yeah.
You know they have those massive bars of Aero, and they go for sharing.
Oh yes.
And I'm like, what? Who's sharing a massive bar of Aero? And also resealable to keep it fresh.
Yeah, right.
There is no need to have a resealable massive Aero bar because it's getting eaten within 10 minutes of biting it.
Exactly.
But not anymore.
The other saying I've got is, those of us who remember, old enough to remember, Magnus Magnuson on Martin Lines.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about, George.
He always used to say, "I started, so I'll finish." That was very much me.
I didn't have to put any effort into finishing a gigantic bar of Aero, and sometimes I'd go out and get another one because I'd enjoyed it that much. When I was at work, when lockdown happened, we all still had to go to work. So they weren't doing any entertaining for clients because clients weren't allowed to come to the factory. So they used their entertainment budget by, on Tuesdays they would offer bacon or sausage baps, and no, it was Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. So they'd offer you a bacon or a sausage bap, and then you could have one of a selection of donuts and one of those big soft American cookies.
Oh God.
I would eat mine, and then I would wander around the factory speaking to my pals going, "Are you partaking today?" "Oh no, I don't want any today. Don't mind nipping down and getting some for me, dear." And honest to God, one day in my little area where I worked, I had 7 people bringing me their goodies, their freebies, and I had eaten every single bit of it by the time I went home. It was absolutely shocking. Yeah, yesterday I was sat in the canteen, I was having bacon and egg, and there was a girl sat opposite me with one of those massive cups, those like clear cups full of sweeties, and I was only there for 15 minutes. She'd eaten the whole lot, I was like, oh my God. Do you, like, I know you can't say anything to people, but do you quietly despair when you see people eating all this crap?
I do, but I've learned not to try to make an intervention now, because you just get pushed back.
Absolutely.
However, because of my spectacular success story and my loss of 7 stone, people know that it works. And I have had some spectacular success stories of people who have come to me for advice. Recently we had a chap who was very afraid because his HbA1c was, I think, 87.
Yeah.
Diabetes, so he had to have 3 monthly checks rather than yearly checks. So he came to me and through advice, and we managed to work out clean keto for him. He went back for his latest one about 2 months after coming to see me, and his HbA1c was down to 49. So
cool.
He was only 1 point in the diabetes. I can guarantee that he is now not even pre-diabetic, because he is continuing, because he is so delighted with his results. And he had a very strong why. He's a man of 40 years old. He has a young wife and a young child, and he was terrified that he was going to leave them. He was going to die. So a good strong why.
That's a fairly strong why. Mine was, I'm fat. And that seriously was, and people do, I mean, they leave comments in my videos saying, but losing weight is just a side effect, think of all the other benefits. So I'm like, well, yeah, I've had all the other benefits, now I want to stop being fat. And yeah, now mine is just get rid of this belly, because it is pretty hideous, and I don't care what. Do you know what gets me? It's when you say, oh, I've got to lose a bit of weight, and then a really enormous person says, oh, you want to worry when you get to my size. And I'm like, well, with all due respect, if I start worrying now, I'm never going to get to your size.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So that's what they do. People who are bigger than you seem quite offended when you want to lose weight.
That's true.
Because you're not as big as them.
Yeah, absolutely.